Demotivatorshow. The internet's most inspirational podcast. Breaking news. The true Burkina Faso and Ethiopia. By the 11th century, the descendants of the Tewahedo established a centralized state that became known as the Mossi Kingdoms. These kingdoms played a significant role in shaping the region's history and politics. The most prominent Mossi kingdom include Tewahedo, the political and spiritual center of the Mossi culture. Its rulers are known as the Mogul Naba, who still holds symbolic power today. Yatanga, known for its military strength and interaction with neighboring empires like the Songhai and Mali empires. Tendogo, the oldest Mossi kingdom, believed to have been established by Tewahedo himself. Burkina Faso, land of the incorruptible men. The culture of Burkina Faso is extremely rich and diverse, possessing a huge and unique culture with its traditional architecture, cuisines, festivals, folkloric ceremonies, craft and social organizations based on ancestral values, music, dance and clothing. Burkina Faso has about 60 ethnic groups that have blended together over the centuries in perfect symbiosis. President Thomas Sankara, in 1984, Sankara changed the name from Upper Volta to Burkina Faso, meaning the land of the upright people in local languages. He implemented large-scale public health campaigns, including vaccinating millions against polio and measles. Thomas Sankara's government prioritized anti-corruption, transparency and social justice, reducing government officials' salaries, selling luxury cars and implementing austerity measures to redirect resources towards welfare. He promoted integrity, humility and service within public office. Sankara implemented radical land reforms, redistributing land to peasants, especially women, to boost agricultural productivity, promote rural development, and reduce Burkina Faso's dependence on foreign aid, aiming for self-sufficiency in food production. Sankara champions women's rights by appointing women to key positions, promoting education, workforce participation, and political leadership. He outlawed female genital mutilations and child marriage, emphasizing that women's liberation was central to the revolution. African proverb: if we stand tall, it is because we stand on the shoulders of many ancestors. This proverb teaches us the importance of studying the past to derive lessons from it for purpose of shaping our future. It reminds us that we are who we are because of those who have come before us. President Ibrahim Traoré, president from 2022 to present day. Burkina Faso, land of the incorruptible men. Ibrahim Traoré is the poorest president in the world. At 35 years old, is also the youngest president in the world. What sets him apart from many leaders? Unlike leaders who flaunt luxury and think flashy cars and grand mansions, President Traoré has chosen a different path. He drives a simple car, wears military attires, and has made a groundbreaking decision. Traoré has refused to take his presidential salary, opting to keep his military captain's earnings. This choice reflects his commitment to serving his people and leading by example. His dedication is a testament to the belief that leadership is about service, not wealth. Burkina Faso, land of the incorruptible men. In May 2023, Ibrahim Traoré's administration allocated over 78 billion CF francs to provide agricultural equipment and fertilizer to local producers. This investment aimed to double the equipment available compared to 2023 to the average quantity distributed over the past 5 years. Additionally, approximately 68.9 tons of chemical fertilizer were distributed, more than doubling the amount from 2023 and exceeding 5 times the average of the previous 5 years. Ibrahim Traoré's administration has constructed in September 2023 a $8 million tomato processing plant. The project is expected to create more than 150 direct jobs and more than 10,000 indirect jobs. Burkina Faso, land of the incorruptible men. The administration of Ibrahim Traoré has launched an initiative to build and rehabilitate schools in rural areas, aiming to increase educational access to underserved regions. He is investing in education resources by giving them reading books, textbooks, and school uniforms. He will promote inclusive education by ensuring girls and children with disabilities also have access to education. And finally, and perhaps most importantly, the direction of the new administration in Burkina Faso can be measured by its adamant support for the creation of a federation of African states. Ethiopia. Ethiopia is credited with being the origin of mankind. Bones discovered in eastern Ethiopia date back 3.2 million years. Ethiopia is the oldest independent country in Africa and one of the oldest in the world. The Old Testament of the Bible records the Queen of Sheba's visit to Jerusalem. According to legend, Menelik I, the son of King Solomon and the Queen of Sheba, founded the Ethiopian Empire. Missionaries from Egypt and Syria introduced Christianity in the 4th century AD, following the rise of Islam. In the 7th century, Ethiopia was gradually cut off from the European Christendom. The Portuguese established contact with Ethiopia in 1493, primarily to strengthen their influence over the Indian Ocean and to convert Ethiopians to Roman Catholicism. There followed a century of conflict between pro- and anti-Catholic factions, resulting in the expulsion of all foreign missionaries in the 1630s. Ethiopia is the Ethiopian Bible, used by the Ethiopian Orthodox Tewahedo Church, differs significantly from the Catholic and Protestant Bibles due to its unique historical development, cultural context, and theological traditions. These differences are reflected in its canons of scripture, which is the largest and most diverse amongst all Christian traditions. The historical development of the canons, the Ethiopian Church traces its roots to early Christianity, particularly the 4th century CE, when Christianity became the state religion of the Kingdom of Askum. Unlike Western Christianity, which developed later under Roman and later European influences, the Ethiopian Church maintained close ties to early Jewish Christian traditions and Alexandrian Christianity. The Ethiopian canon was influenced by texts widely circulated in the early centuries of Christianity, many of which are excluded from later Western and Eastern Christian canons. Ethiopia, the Ethiopian Bible. His Imperial Majesty Emperor Haile Selassie I was the last reigning monarch of Ethiopia's Solomonic dynasty. The Solomonic dynasty traces its ancient ancestry to King Solomon of Israel and the Queen of Sheba, biblical figures who lived during the 10th century before the Christian era. Ethiopia and Ethiopian Bible. The Ethiopian Orthodox Tewahedo Church had been administratively part of the Coptic Orthodox Church of Alexandria from the first half of the 4th century until 1959, 1600 years, when it was granted its own patriarch by the Pope of the Coptic Orthodox Church. Ethiopian Orthodox Tewahedo Bible. Old Testament, 46 books in the older Ethiopian canon. New Testament, 35 books in the older Ethiopian canon. Moses receiving the law. The nativity scene. Yes, the angel Gabriel. Yes, His Imperial Majesty Emperor Haile Selassie, Addis Ababa, May 25th, 1963 speech. Together we look to the future calmly, confidently, courageously. We look to the vision of an Africa not merely free but united. In facing this new challenge, we take comfort and encouragement from the lessons of the past. We know that there are differences amongst us. Africans enjoy different culture, distinctive values, special attributes. But we also know that unity can be and has been attained amongst men of the most disparate origins. The differences of race, of religion, of culture, of tradition are no insuperable obstacle to the coming together of peoples. History teaches us that unity is strength. It's the Motivator here. I know you're here to experience another inspirational podcast, and welcome to you. Welcome. Can you help us out? We need to secure 100,000 new subscribers to the channel. Have you subscribed? Have you shared copies of links to this video with your friends, your network, the wider community? Help us to secure 100,000 new subscribers to our YouTube channel. This is the Motivator here. This is where we transform our lives together. Good morning, sir. Can you hear us all right, first of all?
Can you hear us, my friend?
We can hear you. Oh, did you hear that voice, that deep, rumbling voice? The authority in that voice is palpable. Okay. Good morning to you, sir. I'm going to say sir for the moment anyway. Good morning. How are you this fine morning, first of all?
Well, before we go into that, I'd like to say, in the presence of the Most High, the great art of divinity, the Alpha and Omega, blessing, love to our family. Ethiopians, African, both at home and abroad. This is Ras Paulos, Shing.
Yes.
And as what you says, my friend, we are looking forward to this gathering, knowing that it's the first of the 2025 period.
Yes.
So we've been waiting for this opportunity, and I must commend you the way you have investigated and researched, so that when we speak with clarity and with authority. And that is the beauty of you, my brother. So we give thanks and more thanks and more thanks for having you.
Praise thanks.
Perfect love.
Thank you. Perfect love to you. Wow. My heart is beating fast already. You realize that? My heart is beating fast. Wow. Hey, yeah. He could beat me easily, huh? That's passion. You can feel the passion, the compassion in his voice. My heart is beating fast. Why? In the presence of ones. Okay. You've introduced yourself.
I remember, my brother.
Praise be. Yes.
When I came amongst the great ancient of the Rastafarian, the Rastafari philosophy and teaching, the great Martin O'Planner,
Yes.
the great Shaggy Berry,
Yes.
the great Bingy Ken,
Yes.
Bangatani, Bangatime, Fire Heady, Ras Cudgel, Fillmore Alvaranga, Sam Clayton, Dougie Mack, Ras Michael,
Hey.
and the Sons of Negus.
Yes.
And believe you me, the name goes on and on.
Yes. Yes.
Because we have the right philosophy and teaching, as what Bob said. Give us the philosophy and teaching of His Imperial Majesty.
Praise
We
God.
do not want no other philosophy. And we know why He said that.
Okay.
So, as we
Can
said,
I-
my friend,
Yes.
go ahead.
I'm going to now take you on this journey, and I want to keep us in mind, because you and I have knowledge, and there's a tendency amongst very knowledgeable people to speak in very knowledgeable ways. Okay, I want to make sure that all what we say is accessible to the masses, so we're able to ensure they understand, and we're therefore able to influence. There's much in what you described there, which is packed, which I want to get into, and I want to really get under the bonnet first of all. You mentioned, you used the term His Majesty, Haile Selassie. Can I ask you, just for the benefit of the audience, to outline who was His Majesty and why he was such an important person in all of our lives? Over to you.
It's not who was, who is.
Indeed. Yes.
His Majesty is the 225th of the most, what we call Israel King. When Israel was regarded as a Christian, a godly nation of people. If you read the Bible, the scriptures properly, it will tell you. So as it relates to His Imperial Majesty, He is the 225th king that was worthy of the divinity of the Trinity.
Yes.
So when you speak of His Imperial Majesty, you're speaking of the elect of Himself,
Yes.
the fulfillment of the economical revelation, because the Almighty takes on flesh to come amongst us. And that is why we look not in the sky, but we look here on earth.
Yes.
That is why the Christ came to us. The one with eyes to see, ears to hear, nose to smell, tongue to talk, feet, hands to handle, and feet to walk. The true living God.
Yes.
So we must have the King of Kings. And is in the person of His Majesty, you have 225 kings that brought Him. And if you look at it, His Majesty could only have come at the time of the 21st century when all other nations had their kings all over creation. When David was king of kings, that was only an area. It wasn't the entire world. So you had to wait for all kings. So when we speak of His Imperial Majesty, you do have the King of Kings, the conquering lion of Judah.
Yes, yes. And to be really clear
He's
here,
the one that is responsible.
yes.
You see, His Majesty wrote the Constitution. He's the only leader.
Can I, before you get onto the Constitution, I want to just again want to take it slowly, because I want to make sure the masses are with us. Okay, we are introducing to the masses, in many cases for the very first time, a true understanding of what we mean by His Majesty and the importance of Haile Selassie the First. Okay, and to be clear, so he is the 225th monarch in the line of Solomon. Yes. Go ahead.
Right. And remember, his name is Rastafari.
Yes.
Rastafari is not a religion.
No.
It's the name of the 225th king that is elect, that is worthy of fulfilling the Trinity.
There you go.
Whose shoulder the government is rested upon. This is why His Majesty is the only world leader,
Yes.
only heads of state, only king, only emperor that
Yes.
wrote a constitution
Yes.
for his people.
Yes. Yes. This is true. This is true. And we're going to get to that
And when you
constitution.
go into the constitution,
Yeah. I
you
know.
will see covered not
Yes.
just a state, it covers the entire continent into the islands of the Caribbean.
It does.
That is the constitution of Kwadamare Haile Selassie.
Thank you for that. And what I want to do now, as we now get into the interview, I want to now look at, first of all, the importance of those messages. Okay, and I will look at that. But I want to just look at the framework, first of all, because what I haven't shared with, and you haven't shared with the viewers right now, is that you're in Jamaica right now. Okay, and it's quite early in the morning, which I'm proud and pleased that you found the time to be with us, first of all. Okay, so praise be for that. Yeah, praise be for that. Okay, and that in fact there are, prior to His Majesty visiting Jamaica in the 60s, okay, there was a church that came out of the Africans in Jamaica. Can you just share with us the name of the church that they put together, to which His Majesty was attracted by and thereby called in the Tewahedo church? But that's what existed prior. Let's explain that part of our history, please. Go ahead.
As you know, the
Judah.
separation and what shackled slavery did to our people
Yes.
from the west coast of Africa. You know that they had to, where it relates to our spirituality, that, as you know, was taken from them. But though there are those that maintain their own, this is why you have Kumina, revival, within the
Yes.
African conscious mind of spirituality.
Yes.
Well, as it relates to the Ethiopian, in the absence of our church, the Tewahedo, you'll find that there's one who took on the Ethiopian royal Judah Coptic. So what you had was the manifestation of the Haile Selassie Jah Rastafari Ethiopian Royal Judah Coptic Church, because we did not have the church that came from Zion until 1970.
Yes.
So during that period, our own spirituality brought us in recognition, especially when in 1930, His Majesty was coronated, and many of us looked to the east, as what Marcus told us.
Yes.
So we looked to the east and saw the true king, the true black king. Because when you look at all nations around me, there is no nation that I see that has a Chinese in a white kingdom or a white king in a Chinese kingdom. So therefore, who is our king? It must be a black king in our kingdom. It could not be no other apart from him. So when his coronation came in, the revelation fulfilled itself. And that is why this church came in the absence of the full knowledge of the Tewahedo.
Yes.
Because as you all know, from 1974, when they came against His Imperial Majesty, not only did they try to destroy our faith, our church, they also tried to destroy the federation, the kingdom, the government.
Yes.
And in the absence of this, of the king, many things, what we would said, you know, ones and ones came with their own faculties of interpretation, right? That sort of disrupt. But as we know, everything is for a purpose.
Yes.
Because there's no other king since his coronation. When we speak of His Imperial Majesty from 1930, his name has resonated every successive generation preceding. So what we have is almost 100 years of His Imperial Majesty philosophy and teaching. So that means that His Majesty defined the 21st century without apologies. So those of us who follow His Imperial Majesty philosophy, we follow the faith of the King. Because the King himself revealed to us his greatest accomplishment was to restore the faith to Ethiopia. the one that was hijacked in Alexandria by the Greeks and the
Yes.
Roman and the Vatican.
Yes. And it is true.
That is our king.
This is true. The good book to which you refer, and let's be quite clear, the good book to which you refer is, of course, the Ethiopian Bible. Okay, and the Ethiopian Bible is a special piece of history that we all must respect, because it is untainted by the politics of Rome, or the politics of Britain, or other places. It is the earliest manuscript of Christendom. Okay, just tell us a little bit about the Ethiopian Bible and why it's so special, please.
You see, in the aspect of the Bible, is one thing I've learned. Our faith has 7 sacraments and 5 pillars of mystery. And when we go into it, it is best when a priest who is ordained in position of knowledge speak of it. Because I can only give you my personal experiences. All I can say to you, it was at the age of 36, my faith was revealed to me. Before that, I was born just like many of our people in what you call a Christian home, with the blonde hair, blue eye, with the red heart and the wall. So it was a Christian home.
Yes.
And then as I grew a bit older, I started to realize there was something missing. There was something lacking.
Yeah.
So we went another journey. We went to Hinduism. We
Yes,
went to, yes, we also went to Buddha, Amengra Wengego, and we other areas of religious interpretation.
Yes.
But none of them resonated with my spirit.
Yes.
When I saw people being affected by the way they worship in it, I wasn't affected at all. So I knew something was also missing in those interpretations. But it's at the age of 36 I came to the reality of His Imperial Majesty myself, not anyone telling me. And from that day on, the revelation of the true faith is what I took on. So it has done great things for me. So I can only give you my experiences.
Okay.
That the church of the Tewahedo is the first church. It is not second to anyone. And when we speak of the translation, as what His Majesty said, it doesn't matter what version and what language is translated in. The words of the Most High remain the same, and it's very easy to see the truths. So it doesn't matter whether you're Christian, Muslim, or pagan. The fact of it, the reality is, there is a creator, isn't it?
Yes.
And whatever that is written of Him is not written for Him. It is written for man and the sons of men. So therefore, whatever is written in the scripture must manifest here on the earth, not in the sky, family. So we know that everything must manifest here, just like the Christ came here. And if you have the Christ, you must have the King of Kings.
Right. Okay.
That is what Quadamare exemplified in the 21st century, for us to know the divine order of the sovereignty of the Trinity, and how it took on flesh and maintained the order through His Imperial Majesty.
Okay. Now, and thank you for that. It is useful. I understood you might be with a person with you to discuss the Bible and the intricacies of the Bible, but no, that's not the case. So I'll stick to secular questions, or not. No.
Remember, we have here beside me Priest Kelly. Priest Kelly represents. He's right here.
Oh, please.
And as it relates to the laws of Judah, the laws of the Almighty, remember, Judah maintained the law.
Yes.
The law. So we have Priest Kelly there with us. And he can explain the laws of Judah, because the laws of good Judah came out of the Tewahedo. The laws of the Creator, that's where it came from. That is why Judah is amongst us, because Judah is the law, irrespective whether you're Christian, Muslim or pagan. The law
Yes.
is one.
Yes.
That is why many one get the idea that church and state separate. No, church and state doesn't separate.
Mhm.
But the laws that maintain the state is for all, because we cannot stop a one from believing in what he believes in his religion. So we'll not stop doing what you believe, as His Majesty said to me. So long as you are godly in your belief.
Yes. Yes.
There's many ways, as you know, the Almighty has revealed himself.
Yes.
But we look at the truths and rights. So I've got Priest Kelly right here. So I would love for him to come in, because this is very much an historical moment. Because the laws of Judah is what maintain both the heavens and earth. And as it being constituted by His Imperial Majesty, the laws of Judah still remain supreme in the 21st century.
Thank you so much.
So let us.
Yes, please.
So I'm going to just shift, because we're sharing one facility.
Okay.
So I'm just going to shift myself over and bring our priest into the screen.
Please, please.
Just
There we go.
yourself,
this is going to be a first for Demotivatorshow, I've got to say. And
yes, it is.
oh gosh, yes. Well, he's not quite centered on our screen at the moment. We just move over just to your left a bit more.
Thank you, sir.
There you go. Yes, that's better. Welcome.
Yes, blessed morning.
Blessed morning to you.
Blessed
First
love.
of all, blessed love. I would
And
thank
I
you.
give thanks.
Go ahead. Yes.
I give thanks, Brother Seaton, to be on your platform this morning as the fourth of the year,
yes,
the fourth day.
Yes.
That is on what you say, a sabbatical day.
Yes.
Today is the fourth day.
Indeed.
And before we go within, let us go within this reverence. As Psalms 4 said, "Hear I when I call, O Jah, for righteousness. Jehovah has enlarged I when I was in distress. Have mercy upon and hear I prayer. O ye sons and daughters of men, how long will ye turn Jehovah glory into shame? How long will ye love vanity and seek after these things? But know that the Most High hath set apart him that is goodly for himself. Jehovah will hear when I call unto him. And I will stand away and sin not. And I will commune with thine heart upon thy bed and be still. And I will offer the sacrifice of righteousness and put our trust in the Most High. For there are many that so will show us any good. Jehovah, lift up the light of thy countenance upon thine. For Jehovah hath put gladness in thine heart more than the time that their vanity and their wine increase. By Jehovah's protection I lay up in perfect love and rest. For the Most High only maketh thine eye to dwell in safety. May it please thee, O, to prosper in thy ways steps undoing. Grant that thine desire may ample fulfill, and let all thine wishes be satisfied, even this day, through thy great, mighty, and praiseworthy name. Gurmawi Kadamawi Aile Selassie, Ihi, Asha, Elohim, Jah, Rastafari. And I give thanks to be there this day.
Yes, yes.
Bless I.
Yes. It's a bless I.
And my name is Priest Wesley Kelly. I was born and grew in Port Anthony, Portland, a little small community there, Mount Oakley.
In Jamaica.
And it's a great pleasure for Ras Shing to invite me and let I be a part of this platform, and I can glorify Brother Seaton for this great opportunity that has been afforded to I. And it's a great pleasure to share with the world this knowledge being restored upon I within this island home. Because this is the island that he visited 1966. And as the King James Version said, for he had found it upon the seas and established upon the flood. Who shall I send into the hills of the Lord of Lords? Or who shall stand in his holy place? I that have a clean hands and a pure in heart, who hath not lift up our heart unto vanity nor sown deceitfully. I must receive a blessing from him. And the word HIM is His Imperial Majesty.
Yes, aye.
and I must receive a blessing from him, and righteousness from the good Father of our salvation. Because I are the generation of them that seek him, that
Yes.
seek thy face, O Jacob, Selah. Not Abraham, but Jacob, because
Yes.
Jacob was the chosen. Abraham
Yes.
was only a friend, a man from the Chaldean world, from the world they call UR,
Yes.
where we would call Europe. So we must seek Jacob and know that we are the generation of them that seek him face. And know the truth must be revealed now, because the
Thank you.
time is now.
The time is now.
The time is now,
The
and the
time is
hour
now.
is now.
There you are.
So I
My
give thanks,
priest.
Brother Seaton,
Thank you. Thank you.
to be a
My
guest on your platform this morning.
It is our privilege. It
Blessed
is our
love I.
privilege. Blessed love, and there's much of information in what you've described, which I want to help those who are experiencing you for the very first time. We want to heighten their overstanding of your words, okay? Because there's much contained in them. So first of all, particularly those
Yes.
from the continent, who are now encountering an African man from the Caribbean, from the Americas, if you like, okay, you can see he truly is an African man. And within his genealogy, his genetic memory, he understood intuitively who he is as an African man, and thought, even though he's thousands of miles from the continent, spiritually speaking, we remain spiritually connected. And what he's displaying is that connectedness to Mother Africa. In saying so, what I'm highlighting is that we are but one people. Sankara said it, Federation, Africa United. His Imperial Majesty said it, Haile Selassie said it, United Africa. Ibrahim Traoré, the youngest president in the world, who's not taken a presidential salary, but is committed to developing his country, Burkina Faso. He said it, Federation, African Unity. And this priest here from the Caribbean is saying it also, spiritual oneness. So let me, if I may, my priest, just explore and ensure the overstanding of your words is appreciated by all who now gaze upon your visage. And your visage, if I may say so, and I said earlier on, is almost it replaces those image of that person they put in blue-eyed and blonde hair. You have that image in my eyes already. You have that image of greatness. So I want you to, just two questions for you, then we can flow on. Okay. The church and the founding of the church and the affiliation. Okay. Can you give us
Yes, I.
can you give us a sense of the environment, in your case, in Jamaica, in
Okay.
bringing the church together? What did you experience from the authorities in Jamaica? Were they supportive of you and the church and its formation, or was there resistance to the formation of the church? Please explain.
Well, this church, the formation of this church, were found by my predecessors that were from the Wall era in
Explain
West
that.
Kingston, that you would call
Yes.
the Garbage Dump and Spanish Town Road. That is near to the Denham Town School and the Denham Town Police Station. And there was where those elders used to reside, on the garbage dump.
Yeah.
And it's out of that garbage dump come forth this monument that is named the Haile Selassie Jah Rastafari Royal Ethiopian Judah Coptic Church. Black liberation stand for the redemption of the black man and woman and children.
Yes.
Upon this rock, that is said, upon this rock I build my church, and the gate of hell cannot prevail. Now this church originated in this island. It not originate in Ethiopia, nor it neither come from Africa. It originate upon this island by the elders and the ancients.
Of Africans, yes.
Now
Yes.
it gives great pleasure that our Divine Majesty visit this island 1966.
Yes.
Where in Revelation speak of the Lion of Judah shall rise and shall come and break every chain and set I and I the captive free, free out of the land of the shadow of death.
And this is, just to be clear, this is
Jamaica
Haile
signifies
Selassie
the
the
land of
First.
the shadow of death.
Yes, yes.
You see?
Yes.
And he came, he conquered, and he break the chain and set us free. That we
Mental
are not
slavery,
supposed to
yes.
bound ourselves under politics, religion, no, nothing that is hold us back as a nation of people that has go through the sufferation of the Atlantic slave trade.
Indeed.
You see? So this church in this island, where he said he have found it upon the seas. Now Jamaica is an island in the depths of the sea, the depths of the earth. And in the bowel of the religion, these 5 religions that came here. When they came with their brainwash education and their strange religion.
Yes.
They even tried to change our name.
Yes.
Call us by their dog name. That when they call us, we say, yes, master, we come in Misha, we come in Mrs. You see? It is essential now that we must free ourselves.
Yes.
We must come out of the boundary. We must come out of Abraham's bosom. We must free ourselves as a people.
Yes.
That our Divine Majesty has blessed us with His presence.
Yes.
And give us knowledge. And we must first seek Him.
Yes.
Seek Him that He don't leave us and gone. That's like how, as it said, I will give Egypt as a ransom, and Ethiopia and Seba for thee. We are the people that He has blessed upon this earth. And have given us wealth, glory, and a possession to possess, as it said, give us a place in the ever-living kingdom. This island is the kingdom in the island in the sun. And this church that I was blessed as a young man amongst our elders and given the authority now within my age now of 75.
Gosh, 75. Looks so young.
Yes.
Like he looks so young in 75.
75. I was born the 20th of September 1949, 1 year after World War II, 1 year of when they run our people out of this island within the Windrush.
Yes.
So I'm glad to be here now in this age here, this dispensation, this time. When the British, as a child, grew up within a British colonial authority, because the British were in the authority, not 1962, when we were independent by the then William Alexander Clark, an impersonator of Bustamante, and Norman Washington Manley. Within the Anglican Church and the Roman Catholic Church, and the church that the Revelation chapter 3 verse 9 said, woe unto them that call themselves Jews and are not, but the synagogue of Satan. It is great pleasure to share this moment that our people can come out of this darkness, this religious darkness, this political bondage that bound us within this two-party system, wherein there's a three-party. One said they see no evil, one said they speak no evil, and one said they hear no evil. Confucius show us about the three monkey. So I don't know if these three men who formed these three parties were monkeys. You know, see. But I can
Okay.
remember as a child, when the black man go to England, it in the Windrush, they call him Mama look pan boo boo there. You see?
Explain. Say that
So,
again. You need to say that again because remember there are others who are not quite with us. So we need to explain what we mean by these words. Say that again so they understand it. Please, please.
yeah, because in the Windrush, that was these African, Jamaican were sent, and the Caribbean people that were sent to England to rebuild back England after the devastation of the Hitler invasion.
Yes.
The black man were claimed as monkeys, and when they said, Baba look pan boo boo there, I don't know what that means, but that is how they class the Negro that come into England to help to rebuild back England to the state where it is. You see? So now with the ages now, where we are the African people, we must organize and centralize and unify ourselves
There you go.
and
That's the
come together
message.
now.
That's the message. Yes.
That's the message
Yes. Thank you.
You see? Yes, we need our people because when the African people, whether home and abroad, unite together,
Yes.
Africa will be free and we'll be all free people.
Hold on.
So
Let's clap that. That is true. Yep. Unity is strength.
yeah,
Go ahead. Go on.
because Africa with its creators, you know, and we who suffer the brutality underneath the European, British colonial masters, we are to be free now and to be compensated for all the work that we have done for them.
Yes.
And if you can give her a moment,
Of course.
Mr. Satan, it's a great pleasure to see your face and to reason with the nation and to enlighten our people. So the reason why I'm asking, I am calling upon King Charles now, who is the ruler of the Chaldean nation and the Anglican churches, to free our people and to seek the archive to know what Cyrus or Darius within Ezra book of prophecy that is to be given to the house of Judah, that we can build Jerusalem, that is a city that is compact together, whether the tribe goes up, the tribe of Jah, and to the testimony of Ethiopia. I'm not giving no credence to Israel, because we have seen what Israel have done to our people within history and time. They have rewrote the priestly code and changed everything that we, the Ethiopian people, stand for. So I am calling upon King Charles.
My priest, if I
and
may.
these 5 churches that came to the Caribbean to hold us in religious darkness.
What were those 5 churches? Name them.
Let me just say something here,
Mr. Uchin is asking me about the 5 churches.
I know, but before you do that, let me just make it clear so it helps those who are listening to understand your words. And in a previous podcast, those of you who are watchers of my podcast, I identify that more than 97% of Africa's artifacts, manuscripts, and artistry are currently held captive in museums, both public museums and private museums across Western Asia or Europe and the Americas. In other words, looting and stealing was the norm for hundreds of years. So as a result, the thousands and thousands of our manuscripts, our artifacts, our sacred creations are currently held captive, to which the priest has just alluded to one of them. And I say to
I give thanks. I give thanks to you mention those artifacts and value. I don't give in to reparation. Because reparation cannot be Babylonian paper wealth.
No.
We have a lot of stolen artifacts.
Yes.
We have to restore, those have to restore to us.
Yes.
And if you can check the biblical time of Nebuchadnezzar destroying Jerusalem, the earthly Jerusalem, all those stolen legacy were taken away from Jerusalem and brought all over to Europe.
Yes.
And has been restored in their museums and in their place of secrecy.
Yes.
And all the books that have been hidden in their library. They bury them in their secret.
Yes.
You see?
Yes.
Yeah. So now is the time. You have to take out these artifacts and take them out of your book cabinet and all your place of secrecy.
Yes.
And reveal the truth now that we, the Ethiopian sons and daughters, the African people that you have branded as slave, the time now for our black liberation. And reparation alone cannot satisfy our people's needs.
That's right.
Because the stolen legacy must return to us.
Praise be.
So when you mention about the museums and all these places, King Charles and his people must now remember what the king of Cyrus or Darius had said to them. He called upon their ministers and said, go within the archive, go research and find these hidden memoirs that it can reveal, and we can restore the hidden and the lost and the stolen legacy that were bound and hidden from our people. That this man can rebuild Jerusalem.
There you go.
As it said, the holy tabernacle of the good Father have I sent it down from Zion or earth and from heaven unto earth, and he will come and dwell amongst his people. And I will be his good Father, and they shall be my people. So we need those hidden and stolen legacy to rebuild back Jerusalem. And it must be done in the earth. And it must be done upon this island in the sun. Do you remember Arabella Fonte sing this song long ago, you know? Oh, island in the sun.
Oh, yes.
Given to us by our fathers. And there will I and I sing and praise all the live long day in this island in the sun. So we need this stolen legacy now to rebuild back Jerusalem that were destroyed by Nebuchadnezzar, and our history that were overshadowed by the Western slave trade. Black liberation.
Thank you very much for that.
Black time.
Absolutely. And
Yes,
it is very, very important, because it's we're now in the 21st century. We're in the 21st century, and countries such as Britain, France, Belgium, Germany, Spain, Portugal, Italy, and indeed the Rome. And of course, those families in United States of America who hold captive our history, our sacred artifacts at the moment. Our sacred manuals are being held by them, held captive by them. And you would think in the 21st century, these people would become enlightened, wouldn't you? You'd think they'd become enlightened, but yet they hang on to them. Okay, reparations is now. It must happen.
Well, I
thank you,
my please. And I'm going to make Brother Uchian continue this speech.
Thank you.
Blessed
thank you,
love.
Blessed love. Blessed love. Wow. My Paulos, my heart is beating even faster after witnessing that great man speaking. My heart is beating even faster. Oh my gosh, it's such a privilege, such a privilege, such a privilege. A true born African man in the Caribbean. Yeah, it's important, and it was important how he concluded, lie and bury. Yep, library. Yep, we say library. Lie and bury. Do you see? They
See
lie
that.
and they bury the truth. Yep. And this is what I experience here right now. Lots of lies that have been, and they bury the truth. It is that which we must change. That is what must change. And Britain will forever be a victim of its own past whilst it's lie and bury the truth. Yeah. Praise be. My Rasta, let me just come back to you and thank you and extend my regards to the priest in taking this interview forward. Okay, what we're seeking to do, of course, is to raise consciousness, awareness of the truth. Okay, and you've started to plot the way forward. Okay, so those who are listening right now, what is your recommendation for them to take steps, the correct steps to take to raise consciousness so they can regain their confidence and therefore their power? What is the correct steps that they should take? What should they do now? Please, over to you.
Well, I would love to remind ones.
Mm-hmm.
His Majesty sent the
Yes.
Ethiopian World Federation, which is the
EWF.
emissary of
Yes.
his government.
Yes.
It's just like the Americans have their American embassies all over the world.
Mm-hmm.
The Federation represented the same authority from a sovereign ruler. We must also be reminded that His Imperial Majesty addressed the League of Nations.
Yes.
And we also must remind it that His Majesty also addressed the United Nations.
Yes.
And if you look at the Human Rights Constitution, you'll find that it is him that wrote it, that gives us the right to reclaim our own identity. It's all in the Constitution of Human Rights. But as it relates to His Imperial Majesty,
yes,
being the supreme ruler
mm-hmm.
and being the church of the Tewahedo, the
Mm-hmm.
oldest church on earth, it means that we have a divine supreme authority. And as it relates to the Constitution of His Imperial Majesty, we have what is needed
Yes.
to liberate and bring our people. Because remember this,
Can I, before
it
you
was
just go to,
church.
can I just,
Go
before you do
ahead.
that, this is, forgive me, I did want to make sure we get this right. So there's a lot packed in there. I'm familiar with the details, but 99% of the audience will not be familiar. So I want to just fill in those gaps. So when you refer to the Constitution and the Ethiopian World Federation, okay, which is of course incorporated as the EWF, which is of course an intergovernmental organization that was founded on the August 25th in 1937 in New York City under the authority of His Imperial Majesty Emperor Haile Selassie I. Those who that implemented it is Dr. Maliki Emmanuel Baden and Princess Dorothy Baden as the founders. That's correct. Yep.
That is correct.
Praise be,
You
praise
are
be.
really researched and investigated.
Well, it is necessary because we want to make sure we fill in those gaps, you see, fill in those gaps. And when you refer to the Constitution, of course, and just to make sure, just to help those who a bit opaque and want to improve their understanding, I want to make sure it's clear. So the aims, objectives of the EWF, or the Ethiopian World Federation, okay, is to promote love and goodwill amongst Ethiopians and all Africans at home and abroad, thereby maintain the integrity and sovereignty of Ethiopia. Why is Ethiopia particularly important? Because amongst all the states across the continent, it was never defeated. Yep, was never defeated. Yep. To disseminate the ancient Ethiopian culture amongst its members, to correct abuses, retrieve relieve oppression, and carve for ourselves and our posterity a destiny comparable with our ideas for perfect manhood and God's purpose in creating us, that we may not only save ourselves from annihilation, but carve for ourselves a place in the sun. In this endeavor, we determine to seek peace and pursue it, for it is the will of God for man. That is the aims, objectives of the EWF. So it's clear, it's unambiguous, and it accords with the aims, objectives of organizations I've seen right across the African continent. Okay, there's perfect synergy, I must say. It's really powerful. And I just wanted just to help the others here to understand in terms of the EWF and why it's important as a unifying force, a unifying organization. And I just want to make it clear, because we talk and focus on Ethiopia, and I know that there are many of our people, because we are diverse people as Africans. Okay, well, so why just Ethiopia? Okay, now I'm going to go. I can answer that question, but I'm going to go back to you, Ross. Why is the focus on Ethiopia? Why not simply say Africa? Okay. In a few strong's time, I will have representatives from the Yoruba people, okay, here in the studio. And they'll say, they're the center and they're the starting point. Why Ethiopia? Tell us why Ethiopia, first of all, then we can develop from there.
Because Ethiopia, as it is presently called in the 21st century, is Upper Kemet, the beginning of civilization, the beginning of knowledge. That is why knowledge came down the Nile. It didn't go up the Nile.
Indeed.
So Ethiopia, and where it embodies His Imperial Majesty, as it is written in the good books, they all came from Ethiopia. Enoch.
Yes.
You know, the thing about the Tewahedo faith is that one can research it, one can see that all came from it.
Yes.
And as it relates to His Imperial Majesty, as we said, the Constitution of His Imperial Majesty that he wrote in 1931 and revised it in 1955, as we all know, there was no other states of Africa. They were all colonized, all states. Only Ethiopia has maintained.
That's
and
right.
also Ethiopia
Forgive me, my Ross. Hold on, my
history.
Ross. Again, my Ross, you said it so quickly and almost matter-of-factly. I need to say that very slowly. Ethiopia is quite unique because it was not colonized. Say it slowly, but say it with emphasis, because it's such an important observation.
No, it is, if you were never colonized, you was never subjugated to new ideologies, new religions. This is why when we hear one speaking that Christianity came from Rome to Ethiopia, we laugh at that. We laugh at that because it's ridiculous.
Ridiculous, yes.
Right? When we speak of Ethiopia, Upper Kemet, that is the beginning of civilization. That is what brought in priests, prophets, and kings. This is why we have Enoch, Melchizedek, and as you said, and the priest said to you, Abraham was a friend.
Yes.
Abraham did not have the divinity, the blessing of the Almighty. It was Jacob.
There you go.
And that's a fact of reality.
There you are.
So out of Abraham, as you can see, the three religions that came from him, what has happened to Mother Earth and the human beings that practice and worship it? Look at what's happening in the Gaza Strip. There you go again. So you see, we're not into religion.
So that's just to be clear, and thank you for making clear that Ethiopia was not colonized, okay, and therefore was able to retain its culture, the good books intact, untainted by Western European political and theological propaganda. Really important. So it can claim to be authentic, and Ethiopia is credited with being the origins of mankind. Bones discovered in eastern Ethiopia date back more than 3.2 million years. Ethiopia is the oldest independent country in Africa, one of the oldest in the world. The Old Testament of the Bible records the Queen of Sheba visits Jerusalem, which you referred to. According to legend, Menelik I, the son of King Solomon and the Queen of Sheba, founded the Ethiopian Empire. Missionaries from Egypt and Syria introduced Christianity in the 4th century AD, following the rise of Islam in the 7th century. Ethiopia was gradually cut off from the European Christendom. Praise be for that. The Portuguese established contact with Ethiopia in 1493, primarily to strengthen their influence over the Indian Ocean and to convert Ethiopia to Roman Catholicism. There followed a century of conflict between pro and anti-Catholic factions, resulting in the expulsion of all foreign missionaries in 1630. And it is for that reason Ethiopia is able to stand tall as not ever being colonized. Praise Jah. Praise Jah. Wow.
I have to give you and commend you for the knowledge that you've gained in researching. That is why you're so special to us, because when we used to speak these things, they thought that because we're influenced by the Rastafarian, that we are speaking with ganja in our head. But it's so good to hear you, so well acquainted with the history of Ethiopia. Because as we said, we don't need to shout about it. The history is there recorded. And between Ethiopia and Jamaica, we have the history of all civilization.
Yes.
From beginning of time to the modern 21st century. This is why Jamaica in the island is now the new faculty, the new Jerusalem, because Ethiopia had gathered all the ancient civilization back then and all the tribes, as you know. So in the 21st century, Jamaica and the Caribbean, we've gathered all religion, all the different nations of humanity. They'll all converge here, all the different ones. So the new faculty must come from this region. That is why Jamaica is on the same latitude as ancient Ethiopia. And this is why His Majesty came here more than any other place he visited and said, Jamaica and Ethiopia are one blood.
Thank you.
Not
So
just relationship in unilateral agreement and government.
Can I now just develop this in terms of the understanding? And I've had here in these podcasts members of different Christian sects from Nigeria, Ghana, Tanzania, and so on. Of course, they're all using either the so-called King James version, either the Protestant version or the Catholic versions of the Bible. African men using this. But I want to emphasize it really is important to communicate this message to the audience. The Ethiopian Bible, used by the Ethiopian Orthodox Tewahedo Church represented present, differs significantly from the Catholic and Protestant Bible due to its unique historical development and cultural context, the theological tradition. These differences are reflected in the canons and scriptures, which is the largest and most diverse amongst all Christian traditions. Okay, now those words are powerful, because what it does emphasize is that the culture traditions of the Ethiopian Orthodox Tewahedo Church has remained intact for more than nearly 1700 years and beyond. Yep, it's the only church that gives that testimony. Okay, the Ethiopian church traces its roots to early Christianity, as I've mentioned, particularly the 4th century of the Christian era, when Christianity became the state religion of the Kingdom of Africa. Yep, there you are. Unlike Western Christianity, which developed later under Roman and later European influences, as I've just mentioned, okay, the Ethiopian church maintained close ties to early Jewish Christian tradition and the Alexandrian Christianity. Yep, authentic, in other words, maintained its roots. A tree with deep roots can withstand the storms no matter how powerful they are. The Ethiopian canon is influenced by texts widely circulated in the early centuries of Christianity, many of which were excluded from the later Western and Eastern Christian canons, which is why, of course, the King James Bible is what, 66 chapters, yep. Whereas the Ethiopian Bible has 88. Yeah, and it has a few additional psalms that goes with it as well. It is truly in depth, and it possesses books which, for reasons which I've not quite understood, maybe the priest and others can explain, they were excluded from the King James, from the Catholic, and others. Okay, but those books, and I've been studying those books, and I will do a podcast in a few months' time when I'm ready for it, are powerful statements of affirmation of other worldly experiences, which, for reasons I don't understand, the leaders of these other churches do not wish to share. Praise God.
You are amazing.
Yeah, so
You are amazing.
It will be that will be a powerful podcast once I've got all the facts and the right people in place. It will be a powerful podcast. So forgive me, I needed just to emphasize those words so that others can do their own due diligence, their own research, because we are blessed with incredible minds amongst the community, and I want them to fact check every word I've just uttered. I've taken my time, and I don't utter words lightly. So I say unto them, praise be, long may you continue and be strong. Go on, my Ross. I interrupted you, but I just needed to say those words.
No. Please continue interrupting, because you see, when you say it, it resonates. Remember, everything you said, they can go and fact check it if they do desire.
Yes.
So it is time for our people to come out of the darkness, the mystery interpretation of Mr. Babylon.
Yes.
The so-called Jews of the synagogue of Greek, they're the ones who completely start to misinterpret for their own purposes.
That's right.
And the Greek and the Roman is the same one.
Yes.
There was the same one. So the one that disrupted the scribes and the Pharisees, and the Roman crucified it. And then the Vatican came in, and all the other churches of Mr. Babylon. So each one of them diluted as they came in.
That's right.
That's what it is.
Now,
and unless you get the truth, must have the truth. Because the truth is, God did took on flesh to come amongst me. And the truth is, his kingdom is right here.
There you go.
Not up in the air. And no pearly gates to go to it. Because heaven is right here on the earth.
That's right. That's right. Yes. There, you see, you've said it.
That's what it is.
We are in essence the heaven. We are in essence the heaven. It's a question of awareness of our inner divinity. This is quite true. This is quite true. And it is very much so. If I may say so, my Ross. May say so, my Ross. It is such a really powerful point you've made.
I want once to know this. We here in the CARICOM region, if you go and listen to the speech of His Majesty in 1966, listen to the speech that he gave to Trinidad and Tobago, the speech to Haiti, and particularly the speech to we here. And you see that we were charged to fulfill His divine sovereign order, because it is the church that they sent to enslave us. And it was their sovereignty that maintained it from that time, Elizabeth, right through to King Charles. They still have it. So it's only a church of greater authority can break the yoke of shackled slavery. That is why His Majesty Tewahedo were able to fulfill it. That is why the pen is mightier than the sword. Because when the pen is used with supreme authority of divine order of His Imperial Majesty Kwadamari Haile Selassie, it means we claim our kingdom under His sovereign, just as how the papal doctrine of the European came in and came across our people and gave them white skin and so-called religious authority to claim our land as their territory. Well, it is a church of His Majesty and the divine constitution that will rule the sixth region into the continent of Africa to Ethiopia. And
now,
that
let me say this, my Ross. If I may, my Ross, I just want to put on the screen, if I can. I just hope this worked. Oh, it worked. There you go. There you go. Here is a speech that His Majesty gave in Edinburgh on May 25th, 1963. I just want to read it because it's apt to your presentation. Today we look to the future calmly, confidently, and courageously. We look to the vision of an Africa not merely free, but united. In facing this new challenge, we can take comfort and encouragement from the lessons of the past. We know that there are differences amongst us. Africans enjoy different cultures, distinctive values, special attributes. But we also know that unity can be and has been attained amongst men of the most disparate origins. That differences of race, of religion, of culture, of traditions are no insurmountable obstacle to come together of the peoples. History teaches us that unity is strength. Praise be. Praise be. I
Selah.
wanted to share that.
Selah.
There you are. I want to share that.
And I would love to add, when His Majesty addressed the African Union at the establishment,
Yes.
he told them three things.
Yes.
Africans must emancipate from economical.
Yes.
Africans must emancipate from spiritual dominance and political.
Yes.
We have seen that African has risen both spiritually and politically. What is now needed is our economical liberation.
Yes.
And as I said to my people, we do not value gold, diamond, or oil. When you value these things, you put vanity to man to create evil and to destroy Mother Earth in mining for these resources. We value life.
Yes.
That is why they thought that Africans had no idea of the value of gold, diamond, and oil. We value life, which is food, water, and natural light, natural energy. So we will create this first central bank of Africa without your gold, your diamond, and your oil of America dollar. And that is what must now happen, because the narrative must be changed quickly. Because man with his vanity, with resources that is now taken out of the Mother Earth, is creating your climatic changes. And there has to be a reaction to what man has done to the Mother Earth. So there is going to be a judgment on Mother Earth. We know this. And this is why we now look to Mother Africa. We, the sixth region that is north of the equator, in the Americas, but we are separated both from North and South America. We are on the same tectonic plate as Mother Africa. That is why we now look to economical liberation, economical emancipation. This is why on the 23rd to the 1st of June 2025, we are bringing the greatest summit to Africa. And we will tell our African family, we do not want your gold, your diamond, or your oil, or your land, because we are the sons and daughters of the Caribbean. The ocean surrounds me. The island is the one that brings in new faculty of interpretation, not the continent. So we come to our family with the good news. We don't want no land. So kings and queens of Africa, do not offer we no land, because we will ask you, why didn't you develop it when you had it? And because we know that the European keep on ruling it, and it's only a sovereign rulership can reclaim it, restitution is what we deal with, not reparation. Restitution, what we lost and what has been stolen. And we know what has been lost and what has been stolen. And we know what the papal doctrine did. The piracy of Peter, it was interpreted by the Roman Pope that gave white skin.
Yes, the truth. And if I may,
A religious,
make sure
I realize
that. No, it's all right. It's all right, because it is passionate. It is true. But I want to make sure that our peoples on the continent understand our appreciation for their struggles for economic and psychological liberation. And I want to refer now to Thomas Sankara, the former president of Burkina Faso. So just to be clear, Thomas Sankara, like many leaders, opposed imperialism He championed African unity and economic independence. He rejected conditional foreign aid and advocated for cancelling Africa's debt to international creditors. When he was president, he reformed the military into a disciplined, developed focused force and promoted civic responsibility through community-led projects like road construction, public sanitation, and agricultural projects. Yeah? He was a strong proponent of African unity and solidarity, advocating for a continent-wide push against exploitation for self-determination. In effect, that's what you're saying. And it's people like him and his now more recent protege, President Ibrahim Traoré, for whom is his spirit is living with him right now and is making those same changes. Okay. So we're not alone. We're not alone. We are together. Yeah. It's a collective approach.
I
And
want our
together we'll
family to know
transform the
this,
world. Praise God.
right?
Go ahead.
I want to know our family to know this.
Mm-hmm.
We do not need the dollar, the
No.
euro, or the pound to develop.
No.
When you plant food,
Mm-hmm.
it is you can barter your food for the dollar,
Yes.
the pound, and the euro.
Mm.
Because it will come to a time when food will be the most precious resource.
Yes.
You will offer me your gold of diamonds, and I will ask you, can you eat it when you're hungry, and can you drink it when you're thirsty? So you see, this belief that you need money to develop, no, family. What you need is your land. That is why we must reclaim the land.
Yes.
By reclaiming your land, you can save yourself from being annihilated, because what you grow is what you eat, and the surplus that you have of it, you can exchange it for all currencies. You can barter it.
Yes.
And that's a fact. And as it relates to the Central Bank of Africa, the Central Bank of Africa will define our own goods and services amongst our people. So therefore, there will be no poverty amongst we, because we will define the value from our currency. Not the dollar, not the pound, not the euro.
There you go.
And so long as Africa maintain a value to gold, you will always be in their banking system, and you'll always be subversive and rejected by them.
Yes.
So what you do, you don't give value to gold, diamond, or oil.
There you go. There you go.
That is the future for Africa, and this is what we bring for Africa, because we do not want Africa mining to destroy our Mother Earth.
Indeed.
So we have to stop it. We have to redesign the economical world.
Yes.
Not the one of gold, diamond, and pearl that destroy planet and give man into poverty, while the America runs the oil and the dollar. So you'll always be under the beast order. So give to Caesar what is due to Caesar. Leave America with the dollar, leave Europe with the euro and the pound. And remember this.
What did you say? That clear distinction, I want to, because I'm now
That is why
conscious of
we
time.
follow His Majesty. Listen to this one.
God.
Until the color of a man's skin is no more significant than the color of his eye. We do not look at skin or religion. We look at righteousness.
Yes.
What is truth and right? Justice is what we seek. Without justice, you can't have peace.
Absolutely right. Absolutely right. I'm conscious of time. Okay, I'm going to have to wrap up. So otherwise, it's too long a show. Okay, so I want to make sure we've got it, because there's some incredible, very useful gems, statements you've made that I want to make sure are not lost on the minds of our audience. And this recording will be replayed over and over and analyzed, let me assure you. Okay, so let me be clear. Okay, key messages that you've shared with us today, and first of all is an understanding of our spirit, what motivates us. Why I like to refer to myself as Demotivator. It's an expression. Okay. Understanding what motivates us is an understanding of biblical truth. In understanding the biblical truth, okay, we're able, therefore, to see the world untainted by the propaganda that puts one man above the other, yeah, based upon the color of his skin or the amount of gold that they carry. Okay, so it's a high civilization. This is an expression of high civilization. Okay, you're no longer motivated by money, but by those qualities of a person. Okay, there you are. It's beautiful, beautiful. Another key message taken away from what both yourself and the priest has described, of course, is the history, the true history of the world. Okay, because this is an aspect of this narration, which is sometimes very challenging for people. You know, if you're not taught the true history of yourselves, your community, or indeed of the world, you see the world through the eyes of the small clique who manage the armies, who manage the civilizations, who's so interested in hubris, greed, profit themselves. Yep, that's all it is. Whereas the expression you and the priest have uttered is that collective and wholeness, love for our fellow man and woman, respect. Mm-hmm. Yeah, those things that really matter, you know, to ensure we've got good food, shelter. Yep, and you're able to honor yourself and the Creator. Mm-hmm. These are pure. This is high civilization. Okay? Therefore, you don't need a physical army which can kill millions and millions. What you need is a army of enlightened human beings who respect each other. Mm-hmm. And I think, lastly, I just want to say this: you've given light, of course, to the late and great His Imperial Majesty Haile Selassie I, the last of that Solomonic line, 225, I think you said, 225. I didn't realize between 225. Can you imagine a royal lineage that spans 225 persons? Can you imagine? Where else in the world can you see a royal lineage of that length? Where else in the world? Yeah, it's further testimony to the importance of Ethiopia to both Africa and to the world. Powerful, powerful, powerful. And of course, you've affirmed my utterances to praise Jah, Rastafari, and I appreciate Rastafari for holding the light of African centralism. Mm-hmm. We've never lost our identity, even in the face of the extreme brutality. Even in the face of extreme brutality, African centralism, never lost. Have respect for
and
yourself.
Just to add to that,
Praise me.
my good friend,
yes.
Remember, Haile Selassie is a fulfillment of the Trinity.
Yes.
Rastafari is a name of the 225 king that was worthy of the fulfillment of the Trinity.
Yes.
So Rastafari is not a religion, that's the name.
That's right.
The religion of the king is the one that he declares to be his greatest accomplishment, which is the Tewahedo faith.
There you go.
So all should glorify the faith of the king, not the name of Rastafari.
Praise be.
Haile Selassie
Praise be.
is the Trinity. What greater name do you need than that? That embodies God the Father, God the Son, God the fullness in his spirit when he takes on flesh and come amongst man.
There you go. It's receiving the law. There you are on the screen. Thank you so much for that. Thank you so much. Now.
No, I have to thank you. And we're looking forward, as I said, with the Tewahedo priests. You see, when we speak, we love one with authority, not emotional beliefs, because we're not into beliefs. It's to know.
Yes.
When you know, you can make a difference when you know.
Yes.
Believing doesn't cut it. You have to know it. And it is good to have one that has been taught it. Not just by books, by the Spirit of the Most High God. That revealed all things to all of us. And we're elected to fulfill his will. Each and every one of us has got a piece of him.
Mm-hmm. This is true.
We
It is
all
true.
do. Thank you
We
very much,
do. It
Councillor
is true.
Martin. And
No, no,
once
no.
again, it's a wonderful 2020. And remember this one.
Yes.
2025 signified the 225 king. That is why it's not such a significant that astronomy, not astrology, revealed that the planets is all in the position for new dispensation, a new order that must come amongst man. And it must manifest in flesh. It's a must. Because
Can I
God
ask for?
took on flesh.
Can I ask, if I may, my master, if the priest is there, if he could just give us his closing
Yes.
words, just a few
I
words
would
before.
love him to give a comment.
Please.
Right? Most
Where is he? Where
definitely.
is he?
Priest.
Please.
Come over, priest. He wants you to give a comment. They're closing. Line up yourself on the table.
There you go.
Line up. Square. You square?
Yes. Yes. We're perfect.
Yes, sir. It's a great pleasure to share the moment.
It is a good, no.
And
It's
it's
a
the
great
time
pleasure
is
for
now,
us.
and the hour is now. So let us build this great church, that the nation may know that there is a place to restore their soul, and there is a place to share that love, that black African Ethiopian love,
Praise be.
that were covered by European darkness, religion, Christianity, and politics. So it's a great pleasure to sit in here and share this moment with the eye. As a man who researched the history of our people and to bring it out to light. For in thy light we see the light, and the light must comprehend the darkness of colonialism and European idolatry. So the hour is now and the time is now, where we were a great people in the past, and we must become a great people in the present and the future.
Marcus Garvey.
Because the present and the future belongs to us. And when we have the future, we won't treat them like how they treat us.
No, no, no.
Because we know what is humanity. We know what is the true love.
Yes.
And we know what our heart gives.
Yes.
For the benefit of our human race. So it's a great pleasure sharing this moment. And as I said, we call upon the angel of the morning wind, Michael, to be with us, share with us, that our prosperity can prosper.
Yes.
And it said, send us prosperity, that I and I must prosper that love thee. Love be within thy walls, prosperity within thy palaces. For I and I, brethren and sister and companions' sake, I now say, love be within thee, through the house of Judah. Bless our congregation, bless our nation, bless our people, feed them. Feed them with the bread of righteousness. Because only righteousness can exalt a nation. Because we have seen what the Europeans have taken and do with sin. And through that, the blood that they have called upon to redeem them have gone over, that it passed in the horse's bridle, that it gone up to the heavens. So we have to ask for mercy. For his mercy endureth throughout all generations. Yes, I. And it's a great pleasure to share this moment.
Thank you.
And to share the knowledge. And to have a man of your caliber. To bring forth the truth. Because only the truth can set us free.
It is true.
And these Europeans must know. These Caucasian European people who were barbaric, who never know the true love of the Creator. Because the God that they have used to shield our eyes from seeing the truth. The word God represents gold, oil, and diamond. that they have destroyed nation, they have destroyed people for this three metal. So now is the time now we have to find our good father
Yes.
to represent the word G-O-O-D, good.
Good.
So let us unite together as African people, as Ethiopian sons and daughters, to find our good father, that he can teach us good knowledge, wise mind, and overstanding to do the will, do his will, because it must be done in earth as it is in
In
Zion.
heaven.
And we are earthly people, so we must learn to do good on earth. We are not heavenly people, you know. We are
We're
earthly
earthly
people.
people.
He created us in his own image and likeness, that we must do his will on earth as it is in Zion. Because the angel of the heavens, they are the one we get that heavenly blessing. We are the earthly people. We are earthling. We must do what earth require.
Yes.
Because the earth is the Lord of lords and the fullness thereof, the world, and I and them and they that dwell therein. For he had found it upon the seas and established it upon the flood. Who shall I send into the hills of the Lord of lords? We who are the people of clean hands and a pure in heart. Our hand is not mixed in blood. Our hand is not in the blood of no European. Their hand is mixed in blood. They hand from the Vatican right
Yes.
to England,
Yes.
right around to the pagan world of worship of darkness. We have to come out of that now. Come out of Abraham's bosom and seek Jacob, because Jacob is the chosen. So I close within thy fullness of it. I say the earth is the Lord of lords and the fullness thereof, the
Thank you.
world and I and them and they that dwell therein. For he had found it upon the seas and established upon the flood. Who shall I send into the hills of the Lord of lords, or who shall stand in his holy place? And I that have a clean hands and a pure in heart, who hath not lift up our heart unto vanity nor sown deceitfully. And I must receive a blessing from him, and righteousness from the good Father of our salvation. Because we are the generation of them that seek him. And we must
Yes.
seek him with a whole heart, and put
Yes.
our trust in him. Because he is our salvation. He is our rock. He is the rock of our salvation that we build upon. And Haile Selassie is the solid rock that we build our faith upon. And no graven image, nor no idol. And as I said, as a priest, as a royal holy priest of His Majesty Church in this island, I will not make Charles put none of his children on this throne in this Jamaica island, because this is the only throne, this is the only king's house in the whole diaspora. So we are the children of light, and we must make our light shine and comprehend the darkness of Europe. So, my beloved brethren, it's a
Thank you.
great pleasure, Mr. Seaton, and it's, you know, the joy what you bring my heart, that I can declare this wonderful knowledge, declare the wonderful, yes, the gospel. It said, we who are a people, we who are of this church, have the
Yes.
right to preach the gospel as it was taught by us. Not
Yes.
by this religion, not by this Christian darkness, but the true the faith. Because if there's no faith, there's no work, and there's no work, there's no
There's
faith.
no faith. That's right.
So let us unite together to bring out the truth and set ourselves free.
Thank you.
So glory be unto our Father, unto our the Son, unto the Holy Mother Earth of creation. As Alpha and Omega was before the beginning, is now and forever must be, their holy words without end. Blessed love, and
Blessed
let the
love.
word of our mouth and the meditation of our heart be acceptable in the sight of the Almighty who liveth and reigneth, through the power of the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords, the conquering man lion of the tribe of Judah, I elect of the light and light of this world. So we hail to our divine majesty, Haile Selassie I, and unto the holy mother of creation, the El Shaddai, the breasted one, nourisher, sustainer, nutritionist of our health and strength, and wealth. Because that is what they blank us from. So we know if we want to have wealth. So we have to ask the mother for health, strength, and wealth, that we must prosper that love him. Blessed love, and have a prosperous and a wonderful new year.
Thank you
And
so
may the
much.
new year bring us
Yes.
all that we have asked for.
Yes.
Because him said he will send it to us. He will provide us with all benefit of goodness. Blessed love, and have a good and prosperous day, sir.
Blessed love
Blessed
too,
I.
Mercy. Blessed I. Blessed I. Oof. Oof.
There
There
you
we
go,
go.
family.
There you go. Thank you. Thank you. That was, oof. Well, I need to get into Jamaica quickly now. But thank you so much, Movas. Thank you. That was outstanding
I
presentation.
thank you, my friend. As we
It is
said,
well.
the gathering in South Africa, economical emancipation of the continent.
Mhm.
And it is
Yes.
we, the islands of the Caribbean, the sixth region, will
Yes.
fulfill what
Yes.
was entrusted to us by the King, the King of
Yes.
Kings.
Yes.
And it is our church that gives us supreme authority. And the Constitution is what governs the entire empire.
Yes.
That's where we are now, family. And we've started the process, my brother,
Yes.
to reclaim this land that they call Jamaica ex-Mecca from those who came with the papal doctrine and gave white skin a religious authority.
Mm-hmm.
The only
Well,
nation that has ever
yes.
created such genocide. We've always had slavery throughout generation, but no
Yes.
other nation had dehumanized another like the Europeans.
Yeah.
And how they did it
Yeah.
was so evil. That's what it is.
Yes. The
So we
legacy.
give
The legacy.
thanks.
Thank you so
The
much.
legacy.
I will now let you go. I want to say thank you because our
Thank
time
you
has
so
run
much,
over.
my
The
brother. I'm
time just
looking
flew
forward.
by. Thank you.
See you later.
Praise Jah.
Thank you.
Praise
Majesty.
Your Majesty. Wow. Wasn't that something, huh? Wasn't that something? I've got to say to people, whew, whew, it leaves me with goosebumps. It's untainted by all the other news media. This is just the raw facts presented to you. Go verify for yourself. We need validity. Okay, really important. As I've gone on the journey to research, to validate, to ensure I don't utter words which are illegitimate. It's important that it's heard. These words are important that they are heard. I say unto you now that the Motivator Show will go from strength to strength. If you're watching us on YouTube and you haven't subscribed, subscribe. It allows the YouTube algorithm to affirm that this is a worthwhile podcast. If you, before you leave a comment. Leave a comment so we have your expression, and of course, gives us the thumbs up. Okay, there you are, the thumbs up as well. But most importantly, what should happen that you should now feel and be empowered. No longer depressed, no longer downcast. Yeah. No longer feeling overwhelmed. You should now feel uplifted. In being uplifted, you will take care of yourself, your body, your body, your mind, and your spirit. Okay. And you make plans for the future, and you strive to achieve your mission for this year. Okay. And remember, you are not alone. And if you feel alone, speak to somebody. Feel alone, speak to somebody. Join an organization. I would recommend the Global African Congress, for example. Look them up. Global African Congress. There's a Facebook group called Global African Congress. I would mention PNP UK. Yep. Website. Go to their website. I put it on the screen earlier. I'll put it in the comments later on. Okay. And if you are able to give and support the continual support for those whose lives were devastated by Hurricane Beryl those months ago, please give what you can afford. There's no one here who should have been offended by what has been described. I've made sure that there was no offence. But I realised some of the words were strong. I realise that. That's life, yeah? But if you want to have that interaction with me, okay, you should simply subscribe to the YouTube channel, and you can make contact with me via my email address. Love to hear from you. Love to hear from you. Let's have that debate. Let's have that debate. I know there's some English, Scotch, Welsh and Irish people, particularly English people, who are very well to do and may feel a little set upon. I'm sorry about that. I am truly sorry about that. I'm truly sorry. But if you're living off the wealth of the chattel enslavement of my ancestors, you've never had to work in your life because of their blood and sweat. Okay. I'm sorry that you feel set upon. Look, I do feel sorry. I'm sorry about that. Okay. But the facts speak for themselves. That's all I've got to say. Whether you be in Britain or United States of America, the facts speak for themselves. But you heard what those great Africans said. In rebuilding, we will not behave as you behaved. We will not behave in that manner. Because we will respect peoples. We respect the human diversity. We love people. We love the diversity. It's a hallmark of why unity among all human communities is so important. The hallmark is that if we find respect and mutual appreciation, you create peace and we can create prosperity for all. And I don't mean monetary profit, I mean spiritual profit, mutual respect. It is within your gift, our gift, to deliver a better future for our children's children. It's just the vision that's required, the vision, and you strive towards that vision. Praise be. And if in doubt, ask questions. Now, before you go, I'm going to play the intro video. The intro video is jam-packed full of useful information and give testimony as to why these podcasts are so important. If in doubt, ask questions. I say unto you, I remain the motivator. Demotivatorshow. The internet's most inspirational podcast. Breaking news. The true Burkina Faso and Ethiopia. By the 11th century, the descendants of the Tewahedo established a centralized state that became known as the Mossi Kingdoms. This kingdom played a significant role in shaping the region's history and politics. The most prominent Mossi kingdom include Tewahedo, the political and spiritual center of the Mossi culture. Its rulers are known as the Mogonaba, who still hold symbolic power today. Yatanga, known for its military strength and interaction with neighboring empires like the Songhai and Mali empires. Tendogo, the oldest Mossi kingdom, believed to have been established by Tewahedo himself. Burkina Faso, land of the incorruptible men. The culture of Burkina Faso is extremely rich and diverse, possessing a huge and unique culture with its traditional architecture, cuisines, festivals, folkloric ceremonies, craft and social organizations based on ancestral values, music, dance and clothing. Burkina Faso has about 60 ethnic groups that have blended together over the centuries in perfect symbiosis. President Thomas Sankara, in 1984, Sankara changed the name from Upper Volta to Burkina Faso, meaning the land of the upright people in local languages. He implemented large-scale public health campaigns, including vaccinating millions against polio and measles. Thomas Sankara's government prioritized anti-corruption, transparency and social justice, reducing government officials' salaries, selling luxury cars and implementing austerity measures to redirect resources towards welfare. He promoted integrity, humility and service within public office. Sankara implemented radical land reforms, redistributing land to peasants, especially women, to boost agricultural productivity, promote rural development, and reduce Burkina Faso's dependence on foreign aid, aiming for self-sufficiency in food production. Sankara champions women's rights by appointing women to key positions, promoting education, workforce participation, and political leadership. He outlawed female genital mutilations and child marriage, emphasizing that women's liberation was central to the revolution. African proverb: if we stand tall, it is because we stand on the shoulders of many ancestors. This proverb teaches us the importance of studying the past to derive lessons from it for purpose of shaping our future. It reminds us that we are who we are because of those who have come before us. President Ibrahim Traoré, president from 2022 to present day. Burkina Faso, land of the incorruptible men. Ibrahim Traoré is the poorest president in the world. At 35 years old, is also the youngest president in the world. What sets him apart from many leaders? Unlike leaders who flaunt luxury and think flashy cars and grand mansions, President Traoré has chosen a different path. He drives a simple car, wears military attires, and has made a groundbreaking decision. Traoré has refused to take his presidential salary, opting to keep his military captain's earnings. This choice reflects his commitment to serving his people and leading by example. His dedication is a testament to the belief that leadership is about service, not wealth. Burkina Faso, land of the incorruptible men. In May 2023, Ibrahim Traoré's administration allocated over 78 billion CF francs to provide agricultural equipment and fertilizer to local producers. This investment aimed to double the equipment available compared to 2023 to the average quantity distributed over the past 5 years. Additionally, approximately 68.9 tons of chemical fertilizer were distributed, more than doubling the amount from 2023 and exceeding 5 times the average of the previous 5 years. Ibrahim Traoré's administration has constructed in September 2023 a $8 million tomato processing plant. The project is expected to create more than 150 direct jobs and more than 10,000 indirect jobs. Burkina Faso, land of the incorruptible men. The administration of Ibrahim Traore has launched an initiative to build and rehabilitate schools in rural areas, aiming to increase educational access to underserved regions. He is investing in education resources by giving them reading books, textbooks, and school uniforms. He will promote inclusive education by ensuring girls and children with disabilities also have access to education. And finally, and perhaps most importantly, the direction of the new administration in Burkina Faso can be measured by its adamant support for the creation of a federation of African states. Ethiopia. Ethiopia is credited with being the origin of mankind. Bones discovered in eastern Ethiopia date back 3.2 million years. Ethiopia is the oldest independent country in Africa and one of the oldest in the world. The Old Testament of the Bible records the Queen of Sheba's visit to Jerusalem. According to legend, Menelik I, the son of King Solomon and the Queen of Sheba, founded the Ethiopian Empire. Missionaries from Egypt and Syria introduced Christianity in the 4th century AD, following the rise of Islam. In the 7th century, Ethiopia was gradually cut off from the European Christendom. The Portuguese established contact with Ethiopia in 1493, primarily to strengthen their influence over the Indian Ocean and to convert Ethiopians to Roman Catholicism. There followed a century of conflict between pro- and anti-Catholic factions, resulting in the expulsion of all foreign missionaries in the 1630s. Ethiopia is the Ethiopian Bible, used by the Ethiopian Orthodox Tewahedo Church, differs significantly from the Catholic and Protestant Bibles due to its unique historical development, cultural context, and theological traditions. These differences are reflected in its canons of scripture, which is the largest and most diverse amongst all Christian traditions. The historical development of the canons, the Ethiopian Church traces its roots to early Christianity, particularly the 4th century CE, when Christianity became the state religion of the Kingdom of Askum. Unlike Western Christianity, which developed later under Roman and later European influences, the Ethiopian Church maintains close ties to early Jewish Christian traditions and Alexandrian Christianity. The Ethiopian canon was influenced by texts widely circulated in the early centuries of Christianity, many of which are excluded from later Western and Eastern Christian canons. Ethiopia, the Ethiopian Bible. His Imperial Majesty Emperor Haile Selassie I was the last reigning monarch of Ethiopia's Solomonic dynasty. The Solomonic dynasty traces its ancient ancestry to King Solomon of Israel and the Queen of Sheba, biblical figures who lived during the 10th century before the Christian era. Ethiopia and the Ethiopian Bible. The Ethiopian Orthodox Tewahedo Church had been administratively part of the Coptic Orthodox Church of Alexandria from the first half of the 4th century until 1959, 1600 years, when it was granted its own patriarch by the Pope of the Coptic Orthodox Church. Ethiopian Orthodox Tewahedo Bible. Old Testament, 46 books in the older Ethiopian canon. New Testament, 35 books in the older Ethiopian canon. Moses receiving the law. the nativity scene. Yes, the angel Gabriel. Yes, His Imperial Majesty Emperor Haile Selassie, Addis Ababa, May 25th, 1963 speech. Together we look to the future calmly, confidently, courageously. We look to the vision of an Africa not merely free but united. In facing this new challenge, we take comfort and encouragement from the lessons of the past. We know that there are differences amongst us. Africans enjoy different culture, distinctive values, special attributes. But we also know that unity can be and has been attained amongst men of the most disparate origins. The differences of race, of religion, of culture, of tradition are no insuperable obstacle to the coming together of peoples. History teaches us that unity is strength. The Motivator here. We hope you enjoyed that podcast. Don't forget to like, share, and of course, subscribe. Thank you.